Long live the king.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. Mr. H here, and yes, we are diving back into the world of Godzilla because shortly after I released the news piece on the Total Film subscriber exclusive image that was revealed, the cover of Godzilla, we had complete scans. So I'm bringing you the information from those scans, kind of compacting it a little bit, and kind of dissecting my thoughts, getting your thoughts, and going from there. So not only did we get some stunning new images of Godzilla battling King Ghidorah in what is, I guess, the opposing shot of what we see at the end of the trailer, the second trailer, and also what I show at the start of this video, my Monsterverse intro that everyone seems to like. We also had some, really, really stunning images of King Ghidorah in what I can guess, and this is just a pure guess, maybe awaking or battling it out with Rodan due to the flames that we can see. But it's a mesmerizing image. I know I get a lot of flack for just using great and amazing and stuff like that, but this image is mesmerizing. It really ignites my inner child. It looks superb. And it's just a testament to the skill involved with the designers. They've really put some work in here, and it shows. It really shows. It looks fantastic. We also got a great behind the scenes image on what would be the sound stage of our character Ken Watanabe as he is approaching Godzilla, getting out of his, what I guess anyway is a submarine pod. This is what we see in the trailer as he's approaching Godzilla, where he is wounded in his underground subterranean temple with all the lava flow. This is what I guess anyway is that. I'd be very surprised if it isn't that anyway. But the images itself are fantastic. They're really, really great. The creature effects look astounding, and I'm really, really happy with it. It just looks fantastic. So in terms of what was revealed as part of the scans, well, there was an interview with Guillaume Rocheran, who is the visual effects supervisor, and he revealed some great snippets of info about how he went around designing everything. So he stated that the only creature that goes obviously from one movie to the other is Godzilla himself. We obviously used what we did in 2014 as a base, and then they wanted to subtly redesign him. This was on the behest of Michael Dougherty, and the design changes that they did were redesigning the dorsal fins to be a bit more in line with the 54 Godzilla. We knew that, basically making it a bit more of a maple leaf shape, kind of a starfish shape, as Guillaume refers to anyway in the interview. He also does make reference to some adjustments in terms of proportions. The head is slightly smaller, the shoulders are slightly broader, and I guess that added to a more reptilian, kind of crocodilian shape, I guess, more dinosaur-like, a bit more realistic. Now, they also went on to touch on the fact that they will all have personalities. That he stated where most of our attention went was showcasing the personalities of those creatures. They don't talk, they're not cute, they don't have any of that appeal. However, a lot of it goes into the eyes and how the muscles perform on the face. That's really the big leap that we took from the previous film in terms of the creatures. Now that, in terms of my own thoughts on it, is, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. That's really, that's what you want to be hearing, right? That is genuinely, we're sick of all this namby-pamby, cutesy-wootsy crap. You've got King Ghidorah, dubbed the Devil Has Three Heads. I mean, you want him to be this menacing, dragon-like force. So the fact that all you can see is in the eyes is great, and the eyes can convey an awful lot, especially with the muscular performance of the face. It can really convey a lot. I'm genuinely excited to see what they're able to have done, I guess. And then they also say the destruction in the film, but it's more of an excuse to showcase the monster's scale, which again, looking at this as an interview and as a fan as well as a critic, this is kind of what you want to be hearing here. So he states, "We use the destruction as an excuse to showcase the monster's scale. If you see debris falling very slowly against the creature, the human brain knows how fast something falls. So right away, you get a sense of scale. You get a sense of, okay, what I'm watching is really, really big." And that's something which was carried over from, I guess, anyway, from the 2014 Godzilla. The sense of scale in that film was awesome. It really, really was. That was one of the standout features of that film, was just the sense of scale. I mean, we had that skydive. That was just, again, amazing. It really showed how big and monstrous these creatures are in respect to humanity. Now, they're going to touch on the foundation of each design. So, of course, every single design for the monsters, Mothra, Ghidorah, and Rodan, does come from the Toho origin, the source material. But it would seem that they've then taken a little bit more of an inspiration in terms of real life and in terms of nature. So he states that for every creature, we always try to base a visual foundation in reality. For Godzilla, we used a lot of Komodo dragons and lizards. Again, something which you can see actually referencing, the overall aesthetic of the beast, the King G. And he goes on to say that for Mothra, we looked at moths and wasps. We looked at praying mantis as well, which I guess, again, that really does make sense when we see the legs. A lot of people were saying that it looked a bit like the Muto, but again, a bit mantis-like. We can see that inspiration coming through in the design, and it makes sense. It does make an awful lot of sense. He also even states that, we wanted to make the design feminine as well, so that's probably where the praying mantis stuff came from. He also states for Rodan, we looked at all sorts of birds and dinosaur skeletons. We looked at vultures a lot for his face. And obviously, none of these are coated in magma and dry lava, but it gives you a starting point. Again, saying all the right stuff. I mean, this is what we want. And then, what most people are probably waiting for, King Ghidorah. Now, a lot of people hate the way I say that. Whatever. So he states that King Ghidorah was a very interesting design because obviously he has 3 heads, 2 tails, a very unusual anatomy. Again, we looked a lot at certain types of lizards, but also snakes. Our biggest influence on him were cobras, which I think is really, really interesting to hear. Not something I would have got when I looked at the design of Ghidorah, but hey, cobras. He states that actually that's because we didn't want him to be too big, a lumbering creature, so in the way we made him move, he's always snake-like, which again shows, referencing the intro to this video, you can see that snake-like motion as he's charging at Godzilla. It makes sense. He also states that when you look at the scales on Ghidorah's neck, they're visually sampled from yellow cobras. We looked at wolf packs because it was a very interesting thing to see how 3 wolves would move as a pack, and we used that as inspiration for how the 3 heads would move together, quite referencing the fact that there are separate personalities there. I think this is great. Genuinely, really, really good. Now that's just on the topic of the creature design, but there was also an interview with Michael Dougherty himself, and he states some really, really interesting snippets of information with respect to how he's gone around shooting it, how he's gone around just the overall production of this film. So he states that we've definitely taken the gloves off for this film, so don't expect the monster action to be stingily portioned out this time. After all, there are a lot of creatures to pack in. I wanted to continue that evolution, portraying the creatures as very realistic, but at the same time embracing the colour that they could bring, especially when you had a 3-headed dragon that shoots lightning. You sort of have to embrace a more fantastical element when you bring a giant moth or a giant bird born out of a volcano. You try to bring it as grounded as you can so that it feels real, but at the same time you're talking about very fantastical creatures. So there you go, that's Michael Dougherty essentially setting everyone's mind at ease by saying, yeah, we appreciate that the monster action in 2014 wasn't that much, but hey, we're going to bring you an awful lot here. Not stingy, which is, I think, a really, really good way to put it. Again, I would probably say that he's right, 2014 was quite a sparsely populated monster movie for the fact that there was monsters in it. Didn't get to see too much of them, despite the fact that, I liked 2014's Godzilla. I thought it was in line with the original Godzilla films, but hey, that again will set a lot of minds at ease, and it just sounds really, really good. Now, there was some interesting snippets of information from Vera Farmiga. It stated actually that man's most powerful weapons are useless. And again, that is what you want. Stating how man has harnessed fire, his military weapons, his super guns, the lasers, the deadliest are absolutely ineffectual against the kaijus. So what does it take? It takes the gentle strategy and nurturing touch of a woman, which is obviously who she's playing in the film, and she's playing a scientist that has some technology which allows her to sort of communicate with the Titans. So that's what she's referencing here, and stated that she gets to play that woman, which she thought was really cool. It's a peaceful technology. This is kind of interesting. I'm not going to reveal too much of what I know of her character in the film, but it's interesting, this part of the interview here anyway. Again, everyone's singing from the right tunes here, I think. I'm really, really anticipating this film. Now, in terms of the rest of the interview, a lot of it is stuff that we've heard before, and just reiterating bits and pieces of information which, has already been said earlier on by other interviewers as well. So if I take a look through this and I scan any other things which are a little bit more interesting, I will bring you another video, so please do stay tuned for that. But guys, please do let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. As always, if you are new here, hit subscribe, stay up to date on all the world of pop culture and movie news by smashing that bell notification icon. If you like this video, hey, hit that like and share the video as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been Mr. H. Take care.